Joseph is up next in Hartford, Connecticut. Joseph, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken.
Hey, Joseph, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it.
You bet. What's up?
So I'm at a bit of a crossroads in life as far as career. I followed you, Dave Ramsey, and Chris Hogan over the last couple of years, eliminated debt, completely out of debt.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to been focused on career-wise and kind of feeling like I'm just at a crossroads where for the last 4 years I've been looking for opportunities for what I went to school for. Haven't really found anything as far as full-time or, full-time work. A lot of it has been seasonal or one-off, and then I've more or less been working full-time at a restaurant for the last 4 years. Didn't expect to still be there 4 years later, kind of doing the same job that I don't necessarily enjoy going to every day. Kind of dread going to work every day at this point.
Right. So
I'm at a crossroads and trying to figure out what to do because I've applied for other industries outside of, like, I went to school for marketing, for event management, but I've applied for other industries as far as considered manufacturing, considered joining, learning a trade as far as like a local electricians union. But like what I'm really passionate about, what I necessarily want to do is it's always wanted to do events or community outreach for like sporting organizations.
Great. Let's park there. Let's focus on what you really want to do because there's a path to that, Joseph. And that's what I want to help you with today is for you to see the steps you need to take to step into that dream job. So why is it that you're fired up about events in the sports arena? Give me the why.
The why is I enjoy doing them. I've always been relatively active in sporting communities, whether I'm an avid runner and cyclist. So I've participated and worked with organizations that put on races around the area that I live in. They put on the biggest like marathon in our state. And I've always just liked that community atmosphere, people getting together that enjoy doing relatively the same stuff and getting together and having fun doing the same thing.
Have you engaged as a participant or have you also either worked or volunteered on the organization and execution of those events?
Both. I've run the same races, or I've run for the last 4 years, but I've also started volunteering, and then also did execution and working with that organization for a couple of years, executing various races throughout the area.
So forget job title for a minute, and I want you to suspend your disbelief on how hard it would get there, or you don't know the steps how to get there. Just tell me, if I could give it to you tomorrow, something we get to try, we know you can't fail at it, in that space, what's the role you're playing, and for what race or what event? Give me one example of what would be, holy cow, Ken, this is a dream.
Would be probably doing events for an NFL team.
Okay, great. So you're employed by the NFL team, and you're doing events around the games and then in the off season that are community-based, trying to drum up support and do good things.
Yes.
Okay, great. So have you done the research on those positions? Who does that? Who's the person that does that for these NFL teams?
Not specifically the teams I have joined online. I think there's a website where teams post different job positions.
Okay.
Someone forwarded, like, I've reached out to various individuals. I think even in like your official Facebook page, someone forwarded me the link to the website.
All right. So my point is, you need to know though. You understand this is like good old fashioned research paper in college. If I'm asking you to do a research paper on the position itself that you want and how people get there and what they do, you need to know everything, okay? So that you know all the multiple ways that you can connect to that team and to that position. So that person's already there. So the question is, what experience and education will you need? Are they looking for a certain type of experience? Are they looking for a baseline of education? And then how much is that going to cost you to get that experience or that education? How long is that going to take? So that's really stage 2. You're in stage 2 right now, making sure that you're qualified. If we find that you're already qualified and it's just connection, well, then that's stage 3, get connected. And that's the proximity principle, which you're already seems like you're doing, correct?
Yeah, like you mentioned, to an extent. I've done it for races or running related stuff, and not so much for reaching out to NFL. Because the thing that always kind of made me feel like it was hard to get in touch with these people, because again, like most people's avenue to make connections, typically, or especially if you don't know anyone, is LinkedIn. So it's always, to me, that awkward situation of sending an invite to someone that's higher up in a like organization that has no idea who I am.
Yeah, no, and I don't teach that. I don't like that at all. I think LinkedIn's great for information. It's not great for connection. What I mean by that is LinkedIn provides you an awesome opportunity to identify people, but then you got to actually connect with them beyond a LinkedIn email. Okay? So your instincts are right. But here's the deal. There are how many NFL teams?
32.
Yeah, boy. So we know that, right? So we got 32 NFL teams. That means there's 32 positions, or maybe we could say times two. Maybe there's a position that's below the person who's in charge of community events. You need to know that. Like it's your own family. You need to know all those details. Now, keep doing the races and because that's what you're going to put on your resume for experience in doing community events around sporting events. Do as much as you can, but you're in Hartford, Connecticut. Well, the nearest football team to you is, I'm guessing, the New England Patriots or the New York Jets or New York Giants, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a regional play, but you got 32 teams. So the question becomes financially, what do you need to make, and can you get in a position that's not directly related to that and then work your way up? These are all things that you've got to figure out. But I'm telling you, Joseph, you can get there. How long? Might be 5 to 7 years. It just might, to be able to work the relationships and get the experience that you need to get the gig. But hang on the line. I'm going to give you a copy of my book, The Proximity Principle. If you've already got it, then Madison's still giving one, and make sure he gives it to somebody else. But Joseph, listen, there is nothing complex about what you must do. Nothing. You have got to make connections to almost every NFL team. You got to find a way to do that. And while you're doing that, you're building up your experience and getting involved as many races as possible. But, you know, if I'm a guy who says I want to work for the New York Giants, here's what I know has to be true. I've got to, find some good connections while I'm getting qualified. And then I'm going to have to move or get close enough to where I've got another day job that allows me to get even closer and volunteer and do whatever it takes for the organization. Eventually, when the spot opens, I step into it. It's just that simple. You've only got 32 teams. It's highly competitive. So what do you do in a highly competitive situation? You're all in. And you must compete. Actually compete for this gig. So compete. You're a competitor, compete. I think it's all you need to hear from me. I'm giving you permission to compete. Go for it. It's the only way you're going to get it.